Hiya, I'm your host, Terry J. Aman, with Jeff Hanson, Jefferson Airplane, Jace Everett, Jack White, Jem, Jewel, Julia Migenes, Jack Johnson, Joyce Kennedy, Jen, Seidel, Joss Stone, Joan Osborne, Johnny Cash, Josh Henry, Jared Halley, Journey, and Jane. This episode of VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack is brought to you by the letter J. Hit it! VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack. Episode 12, Hiding Behind the Moon. Thanks for joining me here, Soundtrackers. If you get a chance, check out my very special 7th anniversary episode of VideoFuzzy, my more media-centered podcast, episode 94, Into Every Generation, featuring comments on the 1992 Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie from a guy who saw it in theaters, my friend of the pod, Mark Bailey. And now, title track. I chose Jeff Hanson's Hiding Behind the Moon as title track for this set, in part because it is so mysterious to me. Jeff's high-register vocals carry a lot more expression and information. I've never tracked down or experienced the lyrics with any real clarity until putting this episode together. Well, if I were you, I'd be wiser to the sounds that make you up. And if only time was longer, I'd be gone. And if what you say is the answer, and for all you know it's true, maybe I sleep too long or sometimes speak too soon. And remember the sun don't shine, and remember the sky's not blue. And if only I was you, I'd be right along here, hiding behind the moon. Learning a ton of stuff putting this together. Per Wikipalooza, he grew up in Wisconsin, then moved to my home state of Minnesota. He married bandmate Migenes in 2005, divorcing her in 2008, moving in 2009, and dying, with his brother said at the medical examiner's report, a mix of prescription drugs in his system, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, and alcohol, but no way know if his loss of life was intentional. Google says Jeff Hanson died in 2009, turned 31 just months before, 6 years after releasing his Son LP, which contained this track. I should have known you'd be leaving just as soon as you got here, and in time I'll fall around you and disappear. And the thought of a day left to wander in a time with eyes on me. Maybe I say too much for that we'll disagree. And remember the sun don't shine, and remember the sky's not blue. And if only I was you, I'd be right along here, hiding behind. And remember the sun don't shine, and remember the sky's not blue. And if only I was you, I'd be right along here, hiding behind the moon. The moon. The moon. And having highlighted this track, calling it up and now looking at it, knowing these lyrics as penned doesn't really unlock any revelations, though. Still got Jeff Hanson in videos easy enough to search out online. This great, strapping, corn-fed Middle Western lad singing in a small yet improbably expressive voice of murky, evasive puzzles. Well, I don't know in this song who he is. I don't know who I am, the person, concept, or belief he's singing to. Well, if I were you, I'd be wiser to the sounds that make you up. Suspect that's true. I'm not myself especially cognizant of the sounds that make me up, so it's a toss-up. And if only time was longer, I'd be gone. Is this prescient? I suspect this is true, whoever sings this, but one can express surprise and sadness to learn someone's evident talent is gone and far too soon. No, seriously, none of these lyrics make any sense internally or otherwise. I don't know who we are to each other. I'm leaving as soon as I get there. He's falling around me and disappearing. The poetry of this song is amazing, but so obscure. And remember the sun don't shine, and remember the sky's not blue, and if only I was you, I'd be right along here, hiding behind the moon. Part of what drew my attention was a long time ago, if I heard the word moon or saw a moon, I'd have to say moon. It was a compulsion. I don't know if I've lost a level of wonder in my life. This compulsion, it'll happen occasionally, but I just don't notice the need anymore. I guess I'm less weird now, or less weird in that specific way. But when I first heard the song, it grabbed my attention. I tried to hear it backwards. That potential was available, I thought, because in my experience, at least, the sun does shine and the sky is blue. The imagery is sparse either way, of course, but in flip mode, I stay. We're together. There's no hiding. We share thoughts. There's time enough, and we're in agreement. And remember the sun does shine, and remember the sky is blue. And if only we were two entirely separate people, I wouldn't be hiding at all. Certainly not on the other side of the moon. Moon. Another potential is the song is about himself, a part of himself he aspires to or hides. Hard to know. These lyrics are never going to be any clearer than they are, and the singer himself is unavailable for comment, which we do not know how much say he had about that as well. It does feel like this song spends quite a lot of its life in the subjunctive case. And the thought of the day left to wander in a time with eyes on me. I got nothing. You know, I've talked about this before, but if a singer is putting a vibe out there into the universe, it's no one's fault if it doesn't land. The peaceful, contemplative guitar riffs, the still, sweet voice and its delivery, the fact that in more than 20 years I've never bothered over much about the meaning behind this track, just enjoyed it as poetry and image, suggests to me that that was where I met this song. Maybe it's not for me, and that's just fine. I hope whoever he had in mind when he wrote it finds that vibe and enjoys it. Apart from its intractability, another element that drew my attention to Jeff Hanson's Hiding Behind the Moon, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in here before, almost certainly in episode 7, Houses, is the number of songs in this set I had based on their appearance in television and movies. Enough so I reorganized my entire approach to the central Sparks. See, a lot of music in this set I purchased as singles based on encountering them as part of shows, and Hiding Behind the Moon is no different. This intractable little poser plays across Season 1, Episode 6 of Nip Tuck, titled Megan O'Hara, three-way encounter between high schooler Matt McNamara and two beautiful cheerleaders, Ridley and Vanessa. Ridley a bit more bisexual, and Vanessa a bit more into Ridley. First, Ridley and then Vanessa undress in Matt's room and make out with one another. Matt seeks to join in, but Vanessa cautions he has to be invited. Ridley then asks him to strip down as Matt's shorts join the underwear pile. The song ends and fade to black. You can imagine that absolutely anything at all could be playing behind that scene. It could in no way compete with what was going on in it. But I cited showrunner Ryan Murphy's musical instincts in the past, and Jeff's high, light, delicate, and let's face it, kind of mumblecore voice over contemplative acoustic guitar lent a peaceful, non-intrusive vibe to the proceedings that was sufficiently fascinating for me to track it down and add to my collection. Oh, and quick aside, this is exactly why I like to archive shows I love, even when I do run out and buy disc sets later. Season 1, Episode 6, yoink the disc set off my shelf and pop disc 2 into my player so I can reacquaint myself with the scene, the gist of which I did mostly remember despite it airing 2 decades ago, and I did credit the music for at least part of that. I pop the disc into my player, and chokes on it for a moment, then spits the thing out. I wipe it down and try again. No luck. I take it across to Toby, the practically new Toshiba VHS DVD player I got from my folks a bit ago, and this time the screen gives me a disc read error. Well, the disc is as clean as I can make it at this point, so just nope. I scanned my disc catalog for the episode titled Migenes, and no dice hasn't turned up yet. This time I gotta rely on my Hulu subscription to refresh my memory. Which, yay, that's available, but I would just mention once Nip Tuck Season 1 Episode 6 turns up in my classic collection, I've got backup options for discs that have been on my shelf for probably 20 years and maybe developing readability issues. I lucked out it was available on streaming services subscribed to, but absent that, tracking stuff like this down potentially gets spendy. Onward, Jace Everett's Bad Things is in here because it's such a perfect opener to HBO's True Blood, Charlene Harris's Louisiana Vamp Fest. Dark, sexual, tummy-rumbling vocals, low-slung bass, electric guitar that wants to do stuff. When you came in, the air went out. Every shadow filled up with doubt. Don't know who you think you are, but before the night is through, I wanna do bad things with you. I wanna do bad things with you. The song runs over the opening credits across dark and mysterious images of swamps, decay, brutality, fear, oppression, religious and social, including hoses turned on protesters and a baptism that looks more like a drowning, kids wearing clan robes intercut here and there with vampire-specific images, but at no point do you question where any of these scenes are shot. These are defiantly southern images, probably some of them fit the vibe of the song perfectly. I had a James Bond theme for Quantum of Solace. Brilliant imagery, and as of this writing, the only duet in the canon, Jack White and Alicia Keys singing Another Way to Die. Another blanger with a slick trigger finger for Her Majesty. Another one with a golden tongue poison in your fantasy. Another bill from a killer to the thriller to a tragedy. A door left open, a woman walking by, a drop in the water, a look in the eye, a phone on the table, a man on your side, someone who you think that you can trust. It's just another way to die. Jack White is credited with writing this bang. The performance perfectly vibes with James Bond themes, iconic, evocative imagery featuring zoetropic silhouette play, absolute screenfuls of bosomy Bond girl beauty, dancing across longitudinal positioning graphics, bullets tracking through shifting desert sands. Incidentally, that insistent high B repeated at the top and close of the song reminded me of Daniel Craig's introduction as Detective Benoit Blanc at Knives Out, in that case playing the B an octave higher, prompting police detectives to move along with the questioning. We never see it outside that opening scene, but if the B in that case actually stood for Benoit or Blanc, that is subtle. I just noticed B-note Bond Benoit. This is highly speculative. Just the parallels of musicality were interesting to me. They sat Daniel Craig next to 88 keys. He chose a note to play, and it was a B. Wild. Also, this was some interest in me adding Jen Seidel's Windmills of Your Mind. There's a story behind this one. Is not Jen Seidel necessarily, but when I was chasing down lost tracks for this set, lost tracks, I had an entry by her that I think was entirely in French. I could not find that one in Apple Music, and I wasn't even sure it was the right artist, but oh wow, notice a lot of people have sung Windmills of Your Mind, and Moulin de Mon Coeur for that matter, and I added a couple of them actually. Along with Janet Seidel's, I added Val Duguin's sort of recitation of the lyrics, leaving most of the musicality to his backup singers, but yeah, different takes on this thing. See, when I was a lot younger than I am right now, pre-teens even, we would watch Muppet Show, and one of the bits, they crafted a special Muppet specifically for this scene, small, green, and angst-ridden. I never learned its name, but have more or less settled on what I think Statler or Waldorf characterizes as a screaming thing running amok. We meet this Muppet in his sitting room, noting that on the outside, it's calm, cool, and collected. On the outside, but on the inside, and a thought bubble appears in the middle of their forehead. We are sucked into a side-scrolling landscape as the screaming thing running amok takes off, running around like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning on an endless spinning reel, like a snowball down a mountain, or carnival balloon, or carousel that's spinning, putting rings around the moon. You can see why this Muppet you don't see very often. Normally you don't see their legs. This one has a wheelie bobber made 3 feet to spin along as the landscape whirs by faster and faster, like a clock whose hands are spinning. Got some minutes of his face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space. It's like a circle that you find there in the windmills of your mind, and then runs actually into a windmill in their mind. It then cuts to Settler and Walter up in their box for some commentary until it runs screaming through their box seats as well as a sketch archived in my current collection, disc X475. Fun. Yep, I totally encountered the song in the Thomas Crown Affair 1968 Steve McQueen version opening sequence. I've loved it elsewhere, clearly at it again sometime between 2006 and 2009, which is why I had to track it down and add it again, but when Disney Plus added the original run of the Muppets show to its lineup, along with its Muppets Now streaming-style production, that was when I was able to reacquaint myself with this hilarious sketch. I mean, seriously, there's a reason this stuff will stick in one's memory, and this freaking sketch burned this song into my brain, and years later is my strongest association with it. So, the French version was intriguing, but I'm enjoying the versions I brought in. Truly love my initial association with this screaming thing running amok. Jim Henson was a Goram genius, and I do not care who knows it. Technically, this next artist belongs in Breakouts, but the only reason she's in here at all is because I loved her song at the end of the second season finale of Damages. I've got Jem singing Keep On Walking. Yes, got so thick I find it hard to breathe, and never before have I felt so desperately in need. I know that I must start listening to the voice inside of me. The truth is when I speak to you, I hope to speak to me. Oh, God, give me strength to keep on walking. Oh, God, give me strength to keep on. Oh, God, give me strength to keep on walking. Oh, God, give me strength to keep on. Jem has got a second song in my collection, so yep, this should be in Breakouts, but it fits here because the only way I'd even have I Always Knew in my collection is because I clicked on a few of her other songs when I brought in Keep On Walking. It's a bittersweet examination about getting ahead in the music industry, growing up in Wales, learning how to stand up to bullies and advocate for herself. I like the energy. Another artist technically making a guest appearance from Breakouts I'm talking about here in Medialand. Some of you may remember Samantha Bee had a weekly talk show on TBS called Full Frontal, and she would occasionally feature guest artists. I have Joshua Henry's performance in their 7th season debut, January 2022, singing Guarantee. Keep your eyes right on me. Everything that you need, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Run away, you do you. You come right back to, I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee it. I guarantee. Wow, I just love the energy of that piece. Acoustic rock sensibilities, exploring social media, breaking into a smoking hot freestyle bridge. I could not help fall in love. It's just a fantastic performance. So impressed. I didn't pull Grow in at the time. This 2021 LP release Grow, but I brought in Guarantee Extended Play with 3 other tracks, Hold Me, Possible, and Stand Up, which, again, I wouldn't have known about to get had it not been on my screen. So thanks also to Samantha Bee. I archived that performance on my current collection disc X435, so pics from that performance on my Instagram, and I'll revisit in my Breakout segment. Really fantastic artist. Another source of my collection from appearance and talk shows is Come, Jane. I almost needed to add it because her performance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert dated per Googs to January of 2017, which is archived to disc X007 in my current collection. I cut out the last minute or so of the song. Oh no! So I was moved to track it down and then add it to my collection. Apple Music's showing me I did so around July of that year, so shortly after I started Big Sister podcast ever VideoFuzzy, which I mentioned that they're celebrated 7 years last month. weaves a complicated jungle of lead and backing vocals over supporting electronica, tracing singers' passionate longing across impossible distances. It's a beautiful piece. I was happy to encounter it. Again, I was able to post photos of lead singer Jean-Louis Galice's dramatic performance from that production to my Instagram. More in passing, I had John C. Reilly's existential Mr. Cellophane from the Chicago soundtrack, which reminds me I got Joe Purdy singing The City off the Grey's Anatomy soundtrack. No idea who he is or how it was used. I bought that soundtrack, so it's just in here as well. Slightly better is Joyce Kennedy's high energy, highly repetitive Didn't I Tell You off the Breakfast Club soundtrack. Totally a vibe laid in behind Bender's confrontation with the janitor. Looking forward to that epic turning up in my archive. Same with Jesse Johnson's closing credits number, Heart Too Hot to Hold, from that 1985 release. It was a very 80s drum machine forever freestyle vibe on that one. I got Julia Migenes' Alsatia's Lullaby off the Toys soundtrack. Very sweet. And another one I'll talk about in soundtracks is Sparks Here, despite not being from a soundtrack at all, and one of several entries by this artist. The compilation CD I purchased, Miserlou is credited to Jean August, and I was like, oh, how cool, I've got that fantastic barn burner from Pulp Fiction in here. Well, no, I pulled it up and listened to it. It is totally Miserlou, but it is this ballsy, high-energy Middle Eastern flavored piano piece. And I was like, whoa! When Quentin Tarantino pulled Dick Dale's Balls Out 1960s surf and guitar version of that 1940s song into his 1994 release, Pulp Fiction, which was then heavily sampled in, I cataloged recently, the Black Eyed Peas 2009 music video for Pumpin' on disc 1456, and all the Pulp Fiction imagery they used in that video, just, it's so wild to hear all the melodic intricacies in the original and how much stylistic influence you can trace it through just in my own media collection. Speaking of music videos, which that still fits in the segment music that's in my music collection because I encountered it in visual media, Jack Johnson is my music collection because this music video for Sitting, Waiting, Wishing is in my classic collection, disc 1590, and I bought it from Apple Music. This is a truly enjoyable vibe. And super late entry, as of last week I encountered Jared Halley's a cappella cover of Gnarls Barkley's Crazy while I was scrolling around to social media. I thought, whoa. He accompanied himself with multiple musical emulations as well as vocals and harmonies. I was sufficiently impressed to add the track to my collection. Then I discovered he got like 1 million of these post Apple Music. Holy Christ, this man is talented. Tears in my eyes, I previewed a bunch of my favorite songs. I'll absolutely be adding more by this artist for sure. For now, I shared a link to his page. You can track him down yourself. Jared Halley, a seriously talented artist. Influences. Talking about artists with full LPs in my collection, I wanted to dismiss Jefferson Airplane's 1967 release, Surrealistic Pillow, as I only bought it for the White Rabbit or Somebody to Love tracks. Never really had much use of the group once they reimagined themselves as Starship and built this city on rock and roll. But the Airplane iteration and, oh yeah, this release is genuinely intriguing. One track I've never given enough thought to is the instrumental piece Embryonic Journey. I thought about an embryo, of course, at this point of existence. At any point it'd be journeying, it'd be a zygote, fertilized egg traveling along its way to implant itself from there. I am definitely overthinking this. What it is this peaceful acoustic vibe, very sweet, and it stands out from the other tracks on the LP for sure. I say that, but they all tend to, how best say this, highlight their own individuality. I hadn't heard such a similarly stylistically eclectic collection of songs in one LP release since maybe Tori Amos's Little Earthquake. Well, a lot of Tori's LPs are eclectic. She's who I had in mind for the physical manifestation of music when this past season of Doctor Who brought in Jinx Monsoon to play the god of music as a villain. I said at the time, I reject the premise of music as a character is not villainous. No. But yeah, Tori represents so much of the spirit of music. Let me tell you, when I finally get to explore her catalog, we are getting into it. For now, however, while stylistically diverse, I've said Jefferson Airplane Surrealistic Pillow is markedly groovy and decidedly artistic. Along with Embryonic Journey, we get, this song's like 3 different songs on its own. Opening track, She Has Funny Cars, which has some strident passages interspersed with call and response passages build this incredible crescendo. I think it's mainly experimental on their part, but it's a solid entry leading into Somebody to Love. Oh, Grace, vocalist Grace, takes control of this song. So much so, this is the first years of listening to this, I even noticed that we're backing vocals to her chorus, and they make kind of a neat harmonic. Her voice has always been iconic, just a perfect instrument for this stuff. My Best Friend is such an easygoing, folk-flavored follow-on from the intensity of Somebody to Love. We get contemplative, melancholic Today, sentimental explorations of Coming Back to Me, DBCA 25, and How Do You Feel? Sparked awake by an odd dive bar jam out 3/5 of a mile in 10 seconds. Such an odd way of expressing 200 some miles an hour. Apparently the writer saw a couple of unrelated notations in the newspaper's sports section, just doubt-fired the title. Closing out with a couple of truly intriguing pieces, the psychedelic Lewis Carroll Grey Slick original White Rabbit and that trippy, naughty vibe of Plastic Fantastic Lover. In short, it's realistic pillow rocks, and I'm glad I took some time with it. I cannot say the same for Joss Stone's 2003 The Soul Sessions. I don't know when I got it. Absolutely cannot tell you why. Well, I got a suspicion. I mentioned Jack White up there at the White Stripes. Their single Fell in Love with a Girl off their 2001 White Blood Cells release. Well, I'm pretty sure I bought that when it came out. Absolutely loved the Lego cell animation music video they put together for it. Well, Joss had a modified cover she included on Soul Sessions called Fell in Love with a Boy, which was a sweet take on the White Stripes jammer. But in all honesty, I'm rarely sufficiently blissed out to enjoy the rest of her release, which is absolutely brimming with soul. She couldn't be interpreting it any better than she is. I am just unmoved. Per Wikipedia, she was 16 when she was interpreting these songs. No, she sounds way more mature than that. Vocals brushing up against smoky, emotion touching on smoldering. No, she shouldn't anything like understand what she's even singing about in the choking kind. It's not an inherent lack of maturity. Honestly, I was shocked to see how young she still is. Frankly, if the emotional power in the song sounds borrowed, the maturity level in the lyrics feels kind of cringe out of a teenager, however inspired she'd been by Aretha Franklin. But hey, you know what? If you sound like this, interpreting the music for younger audiences and might otherwise never encounter it, more power to you. But I can't really... It's kind of like the White Stripes mod and the whole rest of the LP, which, okay, the cover is also plenty soulful, but it feels kind of bait and switch, like only liking Save Tonight on the Eagle Eye Cherry release but buying the whole LP. Nah, I'm never going to be completely okay about that. That said, be fair, since then she's sold millions of LPs worldwide, continues to release chart toppers. I haven't heard any, but that does not mean anything since soul and R&B aren't genres I seek out, though it's not even the only soul music in this set. What with breakout presence of Gene, Sherry, and Linda's I'm Gonna Make You Love Me, and epic extended play back by popular demand off the Motor City Dance Party No. 5 Soul Satisfaction collection. Also in fairly light rotation, to be honest. Well, that one also faces sound quality headwinds, brought in as they were off cassette, but even if they'd been in the room with me at the recording, I doubt they'd be getting so much more play, and that'd been an amazing experience for sure. As for Joss Stone, good job, good voice. I wish her continued success. Then Jewel, oh my god, Van Down by the River, grew up in Alaska performing with her dad, other stuff people my age just know about her because media environment. I love some of her music so much, and others of it I cannot listen to. Foolish Games is such a contemplative exploration of relational power dynamics through the looking glass of You Were Meant for Me, rebuilding a world around the hole in it. Down So Long is just such beautiful discussion. Oh wow, this probably was the one of hers that grabbed my attention, got me to buy her 1995 release, Pieces of You, then Spirit 1998 respectively. Who Will Save Your Soul has such an appropriately dismissive attitude towards religion. We pray to as many different gods as there are flowers. We call religion our friend. So worried about saving our soul, pray that God won't take his toll, but we forget to begin. But although other songs, she's all religion, yay! I'm not sitting here denying that Jewel is a talented singer-songwriter. And when she was running a songwriting competition on E! or Bravo or wherever, I watched it and enjoyed it. But her songs definitely fall along a range. The title track for Pieces of You is so earnest as to be unlistenable. Angel Standing By, same, and only 2-star ratings I've assigned to anything recently. Yeah, I'm still assigning star ratings, absolutely. Is Adrian, a Jewel song about a childhood friend with a birth defect. It is, wow, just so far up its own butt, I can't even. Yep, you're not allowed to just dismiss a song like this. And believe me, whoever is feeling seen and nourished from that song, my heart is full for you, and you can listen to it on a loop to treasure always. But, oh, wow, no. Adrian, come out and play. Adrian, stay on ahead inside and rest up. I'm good. And Enter from the East snuck 2 stars as well, but that one's structural. The song is carrying along pleasantly enough. Then I pick through my traumatic memories. I rip my earbuds out of my head. No one is assaulting my ears with that piercing 2-octave shriek. Absolutely not. Boo. All of that said, 1,000 years ago now, I posted a video to my original, now defunct YouTube account singing Jewel's Life Uncommon in solidarity with the Occupy Wall Street movement. It's me in a hoodie I loved and had long since lost. Low light, lo-fi, undermixed, and I was prepared to hate it, but while the accompaniment I came up with was facile and very approximate, I gotta say, there's definitely some stuff to love about this song. I hear the energy I was hoping to convey just fine, and for all it's from like 15 years ago, and used sound equipment I had at the time, I felt like taking a second run at it. To be free from fearless of love and bravery, we shall lead a life uncommon. Remastered original and remake videos posted to my Instagram. New house, new hoodie, new political landscape. Same sentiment. And then, as now, no infringement intended. If you enjoy it, the song is available for sale at stream. Please track down, support the artists you love. Link in my show notes. Closing out this section, I encountered Joan Osborne and I have no idea now, honestly. Her LP Relish was released in 1995, but no one was going to miss the breakout hit One of Us for any amount of time. Joan's theological treatise on God is a lonely schlub. Music video for that one is hard to remember. I'm remembering a beach and a lot of beige. Pulling it up, it looks like a photo booth on a boardwalk and a lot of different people stepping in as, well, God. Her video for St. Teresa stood out more. It was way more colorful. Joan played a housekeeper who it looked like she got very high and cleaned someone's room, or rather the room cleaned itself while she contemplated the Technicolor universe she'd built around herself in a bathtub full of goldfish, biting into a breathing strawberry and watching herself on the black and white television in bed with her boyfriend and more or less taking the entire day to sleep it off. Well, not empty the trash in one room she cleaned. That'd get most housekeepers fired. At least she got a tip. I guess I was sufficiently moved by the CD it ripped into my collection. I'm glad I did, because Man in the Long Black Coat, Pensacola, and Crazy Baby are fantastic songs. The rest of them, meh, but Crazy Baby stands out. Well, the poetry in the Long Black Coat's opener is brilliant. Crickets are chirping, the water is high, there's a soft cotton dress on the line, hang dry. Windows wide open, African trees bent over backwards in a hurricane breeze. Not a word of goodbye, not even a note. She's gone with the man in the long black coat. Blues imagery, that raging kinetic storm, the destruction, it's completely out of nowhere and direct odds with the calm of the song. Closing with the woman's disappearance, the title character, the man in the long black coat. She can lay a scene, that's for damn sure. Thinking about the lyrics for Crazy Baby. Who is the singer? Who's she singing to? I had a pair of lovers going through a bad patch that I thought of a suicidal person contemplating their existence. Not necessarily, but it can be anyone examining their life or their relationship, the changes they might make. And your hands are really shaking something awful as you light your 27th cigarette. Oh, how long have you been sitting in the darkness? You forget. Oh, you know you're getting really hard to be with, and you're crying every time you turn around. And you wonder why you cannot pick your head up off the ground. Oh, my crazy baby, try to hold on tight. Oh, my crazy baby, don't put out the light, the light, the light, the light. Jones got some incredible imagery in here. Yeah, there's a few clinkers, but generally Relish is a good jam, and I'm glad I added it, whenever it is that I did. Breakouts. In Breakouts, artists with multiple songs in my collection, this set stands out for probably the most Generation X track I've got in my entire music collection. This entry predates commercially produced cassettes in my collection. I mean, seriously, I am blown away by its existence in here. I have Troubled Child by Journey in here, recorded off the radio, circa 1985. I'm sure I swept it into my digital collection from a mixtape I made, mostly from other music appearing elsewhere in my collection, so I didn't duplicate those entries. I've got a song by R.E.M. on a mixtape, and I also have the original. I'm not going to keep the mixtape copy if you're hearing me. This song didn't appear anywhere else in my collection, so this is the copy I've got. But it's so interesting to have such a direct connection to the mid-80s me I was and the music I had. I think I've also got a cassette recording of the live performance of Wheel in the Sky, which opens and closes with applause from an audience. Josh Reiner I talked about his Guaranteed track. Well, actually his whole extended play EP after hearing him full frontally with Samantha Bee, pulling up the link for his video to add to my show notes. The theme was absolutely social media focused, but by the end it seemed to also be discussing our addiction to it, likes and engagement, which I suppose I'd heard in the song. You like this one? But really drove it home, I thought, the frenetic, fraught emotions around content creation. I also added a track called Stand Up, and I don't want to. I think you should just hear this from the artist. He's got such fantastic... Okay, just a couple. Turn off the TV to avoid the news. Look up to heaven because I'm so confused. Another child lost in the city. No place to hide even in the finest schools. Go on, there's brilliant poetry on money, power, and corruption, and like I said, it's all him. I'm gonna let him interpret. Full of links in my show notes. This artist is incredible. Another talented artist with his lyrical set. Let's give it to my man Jason Mrazmataz. He is the shiznit is flowing over you like floral Orinoco. It is all going close because it's activity, right? Active. A lot going on in his mind, music and lyrics. He keeps the party kinetic and always rhymes energetic. Don't got a lot, don't need to spin the Ford. DJ came down with some something. Let's get you started on now. With it's a remedy, it's the experience. This is a dangerous liaison. I said the comedy is that it's serious. This is a strange enough new play on words, which he goes la 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 la. Listen closer to the words I say, la, 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 la. It's all about the wordplay, la, 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 la. Because of the things he does, you know, Wizard Boos and Oz, Apollo laws are backing up. 'Cause he's the geek in the pink, dun, 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 dun. Geek is colorful, I'm the geek in the pink. Won't hesitate. I'm yours. Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. Tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. Fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Before the cooldown run out, I'll be giving it my bestest. Nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some. Is the geek in the pink. Enjoy all of these, the clever flow. Jason Mraz, that flew by too fast. Truly enjoy countering stuff in here, because along with smart, they're funny, and have a good instinct for showmanship. Quick break in here, I couldn't help myself. I went back at Apple Music, pulled in a bunch more Jared Halley. I talked about in my Media Sparks up there. He's a legit breakout artist in this collection. I pulled in another dozen songs with the strength of his cover of Gnarls Barkley's Crazy. And believe me, I added Buddy Gnarls' version to my collection, along with his smiling faces, because I love that music video when it turned up my media collection a bit ago. Along with, I mentioned Crazy, Jared Halley's take on Bring Me to Life, Legend, Africa, Never Enough, Carry On, Centuries, Fight Song, Hall of Fame, Scars, Sound of Silence, I'm Still Standing, and this tiny little sea shanty, Wellerman, have such incredible energy I needed in my collection. So he's already misfiled, and I do not care. Track him down, he's awesome. Same with Josh Henry. I talked about when he played Guarantee on Full Frontal, purchased his extended play. Well, he was already misfiled from Breakout, so he'd absolutely be misfiled from Influences. I got his 2021 LP Grow as well. Tracks that were new to me in this effort included a cover of Tomorrow from musical Annie, which is soulful and sweet. I enjoyed Love Me and Awe of Her, which I think great messages about support and couples being there for each other. Same with Checking In, Take My Breath Away, so Exchange at the end. It sounds like his daughter, and so impossibly sweet. I enjoyed my expanding awareness of this artist through this project. Sparks. Yup, here we are back in Sparks again, artists with one song in my collection. These are ones I can't trace specifically to media influences, though I did not too long ago run into, a 2004 Jay-Z collaboration with Linkin Park, Collision Course, aired on MTV2. I didn't have this song in that recording, but the screenshot VideoFuzzy's Instagram is from that concert. I added Numb Encore to my collection. Apple Music says 2010, so I was a bit late to the party, but it is a great song. Jethro Tull, I absolutely love their 1971 release, Aqualung. Sure, he's a weird protagonist for a pop song. For real, I'd stop bringing my kids to that park, but energy of this song is kind of incredible. The varying tempo, chord, and energy shifts. It's like 3 or 4 different songs in one, drifting between contemplative, melodic, and stark confrontational. And as they're woven together, absolutely we could wish for a more wholesome subject. But he is dying. As you snatch your rattling last breath with deep-sea diving sounds, they also give it such imagery as the flowers bloom like madness in the spring. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Jesus Jones I have in here from a cassette I bought in college. Scanned in artwork is very 8-bit at this point. I'll include a copy of that in my Instagram. I used to have 2 songs by him, both off the Doubt, and this makes me feel like Apple Music once did something with my collection because I never delete anything. Since I ported it in from cassette, or maybe a copy off a mixtape, that cover art come from someplace. I know I had right here, right now in my personal rotation, and the one that absolutely is in my collection, Real, 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 which that's always been a priority for me. The question, what is real? What is reality? Though the song sounds like it's more involved with emotional reality, is what you feel real. Say what you like, you know that no one really minds. And if there's nothing to say, then why don't we all go away? Real, 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 do you feel real? And if so, I'd like to know, how does it feel? Real, real, do you feel real? And if so, I'd like to know, well, what else? Well, I got a few Johnny Cash items in here I didn't talk about in Breakouts, and I won't talk about here. The man is incredible. I really only added later stuff from him, like his cover of 9 Inch Nails' Hurt, and Depeche Mode's Personal Jesus, John Lennon's Imagine, and John Denver's Christmas tune, The Muppets. So that's really more of Miss Piggy entry anyway. Janice Ian I got from Putumayo's women's work set, When the Silence Falls, which is a cool vibe, maybe cooler, well, okay while ago, episode 78 of VideoFuzzy, Nobody Does It Better, when I was talking about all the James Bond themes. I was always surprised that this was never included, but it is a little bit on the nose, right? Johnny Rivers singing Secret Agent Man, his 1966 release. There's a man who lives a life of danger. Everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes. Odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name. I think I'll close out with, this was a music from media entry. I could absolutely have fit this in my previous discussion, but I think it fits a little better right here. In 2008, a handful of actors with an unexpected amount of suddenly free time on their hands came together and created something called Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog, starring Neil Patrick Harris and Nathan Fillion and Felicia Day. It was fantastic. Well, the music was actually 2 musicals, because Joss Whedon also wrote a second layer of storytelling called Commentary, both of which I've talked about here and actually misquoted from elsewhere. It's not important right now. Apart from appearing in the 4th season of his Buffy spin-off production Angel as Crevlord Swath's brother Numthar doing the Dance of Joy in the demon dimension of Pylea, Joss Whedon wrote a song for himself about the artist's relationship with the critisphere, bloggers, critics, producers, directors, network executives, web production. His entry, Heartbroken, talks about how art can't just be art anymore. It gets picked apart by everyone. It can't just be on TV. Writers need to craft mobisodes so people log in and watch. They can sell additional time. And if people don't, they lose the narrative thread and stories fall apart for lack of Aristotelian unities. Either the side quests are meaningless or people miss important plot points. A caveman painted in a cave was a bison, was a fave. The other cave people would rave. They didn't ask why. Why paint a bison if it's dead? Why did you use the color red? What was the process in your head? He told the story. What came before he didn't show. We're not supposed to. Homer's Odyssey was swell. A bunch of guys who went through hell. He told the tale but didn't tell the audience why. He didn't say, here's what it means, and here's a few deleted scenes. Charybdis tested well with teens. He's not the story. He's just a door we open if our lives need lifting. But now we pick it apart. Open it up to find the tick, tick, tick of a heart. A heart broken. His fellow creators then take him to task for complaining about the reality of infinite access and availability, that people need to feel like they're a part of a show they're watching by informing and chasing additional content. So there has to be additional content to chase, otherwise he'll find his fame and fan base gone. You'll be ignored at Comic-Con. I sang some things I didn't mean. Oh, it's no goodies. I felt this honest reaction in the middle of a writer's strike, an endless treadmill of money for creativity, for writing, for stories, for engagement, for attention. Pressures seem infinite when really what we are is stories glittering across increasingly infinite platforms, each seeking secure monetization. Honestly, how are we sustaining all the networks and channels and streaming and production companies? Heart broken. Goodbye. Well, per IMDb, less than a week of shooting gave us Billy, an ambitious yet largely unknown villain Dr. Horrible, seeking to break into the big time with supervillain Bad Horse, but his focus is divided between Captain Hammer, a self-important hero who keeps thwarting his schemes, and Penny, a sweet do-gooder seeking to save the world through conventional means she's able to, feeding the homeless and such like. Billy's in love with Penny, but when he sees Penny falling for Captain Hammer, that's the final push he needs to send him into utter darkness, and the die is cast. It's human, it's emotional, it's dark, it's relatable, it costs nothing to produce, and it reportedly made $3 million. There's something in there about a good story will find its audience, but Whedon's point is taken. We create because we must. It's the sharing with an audience gets money involved, and, well, it's a huge mess from there. Now on VideoFuzzy, a fond reflection.
Hi, Terry. This is Mom and Dad calling. We love you. Take care.
Quick closing note here. Truly appreciating your patience. My mom passed away last month, so there's been quite a lot to do and process. I'm doing well. We're doing well. It was tough for her after my dad passed last year and saying goodbye to her sister this winter. It was good to share what time we had, and however ready one is, goodbyes are hard. My sister and I are happy that she's at peace, and they're together again. The time for their anniversary. Last year, their 60th. It was such a beautiful day together. It would have been 61 years this month. Love you, Mom. Love you both. And that'll wrap us up for the Jays. Time to get this one on the feed here. I want to thank you all so much for checking in on me as I poke around in my music collection. As always, anything that might have reminded anyone of singing in this or any VideoFuzzy production, let me assure you that it wasn't. Any low-bar karaoke attempts you might have encountered in this tiny little project would only have been included for illustrative purposes. Part of fair use reviews certainly weren't meant to infringe on anyone's license and copyright or distribution agreements. Go forth, buy songs, support the artists you love. Meanwhile, please add, follow, and subscribe to VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack wherever you get your podcasts, and with any questions, comments, or artist suggestions, please contact me through my show notes or email to tjam1970@yahoo.com. For VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack, I'm Terry J. Aman. Happy listening.